Blizzard is currently trying to do the most insane thing I have ever seen in my life. They are trying to gaslight all of their players into believing that they know that they did wrong and they are now trying to fix this. And they are systematically doing this to literally all of their games. They did this with World of Warcraft. They said, "Oh, we hear you. We have made mistakes. We are gonna do better." They did that after with Diablo 4 Season 9. "Oh, we hear you. We're gonna do better. We're not gonna actually do any of the changes that you want, but we hear you and we are gonna do better." And now they're saying the same thing to Overwatch. This is insane. Blizzard is just flat out trying to gaslight the remaining players. I have never seen something as insane as this. And this is gonna backfire 100% because people aren't stupid. We're not as stupid as Blizzard thinks. We're not stupid at all most of the time, in fact. People are gonna notice that Blizzard is just, again, talking the talk but not doing the walk. They're gonna say, "Oh, we hear you. We're gonna change matchmaking, items, balancing, all of these things." And then after half a year, they're not gonna do any of that. And it's still gonna be bad. And people are gonna absolutely king them for that. It's gonna be insane.
Now, this is news that will shock absolutely nobody, but the Overwatch 2 game director, Aaron Keller, has said Overwatch has dropped the ball when it comes to story and narrative, and he would like more animated shorts, and he would like a TV series. We need to break this down because Overwatch 2's history when it comes to narrative design.
Oh god, it's the Edge Runners into the Fallout TV series, and now everyone wants a TV series. I have talked about Overwatch so much, okay? The reason that Blizzard chose to not do the story-driven lore mission things about the characters is because there is no story about these characters. Look at them. Reinhardt is just German. That's his whole persona. He has a German accent. That's boring. Diva is a Twitch streamer. The only unique thing about her is she doesn't have an OF link. Lucio is a black dude who likes music. What kind of stupid stories are we gonna tell about them? Every single Overwatch character is just a superficial archetype of a person that Blizzard thought that people are gonna resonate with. Which makes sense why I resonate with Widowmaker, because I also have a tight ass. In any case, yeah, you can't make a lore series about Overwatch. None of the characters are interesting. All of them are boring and stupid. They're superficial at best.
It is questionable. Obviously, it had some incredible animated shorts in early Overwatch life. And it had some, like, pretty decent comics and sort of associated lore that was attached. Never really has been great at advancing the lore in the game. And one of my pet peeves of the game has been, why the hell didn't they brand their seasons as in-game lore seasons so you could keep pushing the story forward?
Oh, by the way, speaking about the shorts, I just want to talk about it. Blizzard does not understand how to make shorts, okay? The short animation things. So you have the initial Overwatch trailer where it's the monkey and there's like a kid in the museum and then the evil people come out, right? The good guys come in and they don't even really try to save save the innocent bystanders. Then there's the Soldier 76 short animation, which I'm sure Blizzard accidentally just did. And then that Soldier 76 does actually save like a child, and intentionally he chooses to save a child. I think that's accidental that they did that, and that is probably the most beloved animation that Overwatch has, because it's just a selfless act. He's trying to go do the good thing. He literally lets the bad guys escape just because he wants to save a person. That is nice. That is wholesome. That is likable. But I also think that that's a complete accident, that no one left at Blizzard would even ever value that. Again, if they do if Blizzard does an animation series about Overwatch, every Overwatch hero is going to be a villain, probably.
That'd have been really cool, but it seems they didn't want to go down that path, or maybe they just didn't have the resources. Who really knows? But we're going to break all of this down here because there's a lot going on. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to jump over here to this. And this is the interview or a breakdown of the interview that J3 conducted. He was with another content creator. I forget your name. I apologize. But what I'll do is I'll bring their stuff up and you'll be able to see it in a moment on the video. But we need to go into detail on this because obviously you guys know what the hell has happened with Overwatch 2. The fact that it was meant to be this big PvE story expansion that never materialized, years and years of lost development, and the developers scraping everything back to the current state of Overwatch we've got now, which is in a good place for what it is, but Overwatch is always going to struggle when it comes to actually breaking out of its mold. Where is the big beat? Where does it go from here? Now, I will say this before we break this down. I honestly, firmly believe Overwatch might actually be a bit of a lost cause, the game itself, right? I think it's steady. I think for the baseline, I don't think it's ever going to grow. Unless something fundamentally ridiculous happened, right? Where they completely changed the way the game's played or whatever. But we've already had that with Stadium, and I think that's done okay. But it's not done enough, I don't think, to just...
I don't even know what that word he said just was. That's how bad things really are.
Massively accelerate the game. The way to do this, I think, is to look at Overwatch as an IP. It is to look at this potential multimedia universe you could build with Overwatch. But instead of thinking about things like films, TV shows, and stuff like that, think about other games in the universe. There are other genres you could easily apply the Overwatch IP to. I hope Blizzard are doing that kind of thing behind the scenes because it still is a rich IP with very strong heroes. They just need to be fleshed out because they're...
Are they strong, though? Does anyone care about Hamster Ball Hero? Or Metal Centaur Hero? I don't even know what they're called. But does anyone give a shit about them? They're just so generic and boring. And the funny part is, you know that Blizzard tried to be, like, super unique with those designs and whatnot. But yeah, you just ended up with having hamster. We already have smart... You're not gonna believe this, but a monkey who speaks human and is smart. We already had Gorilla Grodd. Can you imagine that? And then they added a hamster. I don't know if the hamster is actually, by the way, supposed to be smart or not. And Mecha Centaur. And I think there's... Oh, right. Black guy with big fist. What else? What even is there else? Yeah, I don't think even the Overwatch lineup of heroes is impressive any longer. It's just generic, okay?
A very limited surface level lore for these heroes because it's never really been explored. So, yeah, I firmly believe they need to be looking beyond what Overwatch is at the moment. But, you know, like I said, these things could change. Who knows? And who knows what they're working on. So, this first sort of... I mean, you guys can see the quote here. Look. Overwatch 2 director says the FPS dropped the ball when it comes to story, but wants those sick animated shorts to make a comeback and would love a TV show. Well, before we get into this, there's not much here in the article because it's only breaking down a couple of comments. I want to show you the Play Overwatch YouTube channel. So you've all looked at this. You all know what these animated shorts are. They were killer. They were absolutely sick, right? They were insane. They kept hitting regular, high quality, Pixar quality. The best there. Like Blizzard's cinematic department was known as...
Are they actually like this long, like 8 minutes? Jesus, that's long. And I literally could not care probably about anything else. Except, again, this one. I think I have seen the Hanzo one where he's fighting his, brother. And that's pretty much it.
Best in the industry. They were proving it time and time again with these animated shorts. Each of them was developing the story of the heroes. My favorite one, like without any kind of comparison, is the Bastion one. This one is incredible. It's Bastion.
Oh, I remember this one. Actually, that one's a really good one. It's a robot Roomba that has, knives attached to its signs with duct tape. And it wakes up and it's like, gotta exterminate meat sacks. And then it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna actually do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's very genetic, but it's a good thing at least. It's really good, even though it's the most genetic thing ever. And I think honestly, this is what Overwatch just screams: geneticness. I don't think there's anything else about this game than just being genetic.
Suffering from PTSD from the Omnic crisis. It is incredible. This is insane storytelling. This is art. right? What is not art is the Piss in the Seraphim animated short. And this is where I get friggin' mad and I get angry, because this is when it all comes back to when you look at the monetization direction of Overwatch, it all plays into what happened ultimately with using your animated short budget to make a bloody promotional video using your high attach rate heroes to sell animated, not animated skins, what am I talking about? To sell K-pop skins in the game. Instead of giving a lore related short which pushes the game forward, which is art. That is my issue, right? And any self-respecting developer there at the company must be thinking the same thing. Why are we wasting our budget on that? We want to make more of The Last Bastion. We want to make more Dragons, although I think Dragons was kind of run of the mill, but it has some really good visuals. Infiltration is a good cinematic. Honor and Glory is fine. The Overwatch 2 announced cinematic is okay. The Soldier one's probably the weakest one, but
whoa,
I've got like personal stories of these. Like I remember seeing this one live in Germany. This as well, Rise and Shine. I've seen that live at Gamescom.
I haven't seen it.
And they did a really cool thing where they dropped dry ice from the top of the arena like snow. It was really cool. Really cool. Just insane. Also, this origin story is phenomenal from Sigma. Really good. Probably the peak.
There's a hero called Sigma? Jesus.
Of storytelling that we've seen in Overwatch. In my opinion, friggin' insane that was as a story introduction.
So, you know what I have seen? I have seen the female Junkrat animation. God damn, that was cringe.
Shorts, like I said, they've done really well. If we start, I mean, what I'm searching for, or I'm filtering by popular here on their channel, you can see like the Kiriko animated short did quite well. Again, I'm not sure like what paid promo was involved with these, but I think everybody was watching these, especially Dragons and The Last Bastion. Everybody was watching those. But yeah,
I did not
Kiriko
watch
animated
any of
short,
this.
pretty good,
much.
pretty long for an animated short. Did pretty well view-wise. It was, you know, your standard Overwatch fare. As I'm scrolling down here, you're probably not going to see any of the more recent ones. There are some anomalies, I will say. So the Sojourn animated short for the Invasion PvE pack.
Right, there's Mulan. No, not Mulan. What did this guy from the Pixar movie?
In development for a while, but they showed that in the game, so it's got atrocious viewership on YouTube. It must be around here somewhere. It must be around here somewhere. It can't have lower than it can't have lower than 1 million views, surely. Surely not.
I mean, damn though, look at this. There's things that have been released like 2 years ago and nothing. Oh man, Overwatch has just fallen so hard, huh?
There it is. Okay, so it's
Let's
got
actually
1.2
look
million.
what the situation on SteamDB is. SteamDB. What's it called? Overwatch 2. Let's check what's cracking with Overwatcher. Overwatch is actually not doing that bad. Let me share the screen right there. Okay. Not doing that tremendously bad, to be honest, I would say. It could be doing definitely better, but it's not doing that bad. And by the way, small thing, is that season 15? Whoa, there's actually so many seasons in this shit show? Damn, that's sad. Well, obviously, there was a slight bump, and then it fell down, and now it's at the lowest it has been. Wait, why is the drop so goddamn hard? What the fuck? That is kind of insane. Why is this now happening? Are people just tired? Is it just really bad or something? What's going on here? I'm a little bit confused. But you know what's the big deal? I actually think that most Overwatch players, at least half of them, are playing off of Steam. Because if you're an Overwatch fan, that means you're a fan of shooters. There is literally no fucking... Jesus Christ, still the 25%. Oh my god. Negative, positive, negative reviews. Holy shit, that is bad. Well, it doesn't really matter now, does it? But yeah. I think that Overwatch has like 50% of its player base currently from Steam. And I am very confident in saying this because the people who play Overwatch are the people who play CS, Valorant, Marvel, Rivals, all of these things. And you can have all of these things on Steam. And so if you're only playing shooters, you don't need to use Blizzard's shitty client that everyone nowadays hates because it's filled with ads and other garbage. You can't even like the Blizzard client is just complete ass nowadays. People are, I think people are definitely trying to avoid it. Again, I did not too long ago. It's now been like a couple of weeks, but I did a poll, and I mean, not a million people answered, but what 1K plus people answered, and that 92% said that they are gonna buy Blizzard games on Steam if possible because they don't want to deal with the Blizzard fucking launcher. That's it. That's how simple it is. So I think now Overwatch numbers are pretty well represented by Steam. So yeah, let's get back to our original broadcast though.
But this was like an absolutely criminal failure of deployment. Anyone with half a brain would know that you want your animated shorts to be on YouTube and you want as many views as possible because the more views you get, it's going to make your video potentially be more viral, right? So it's going to get recommended in more video feeds. That's what you're going to want. Instead, they actually put this in the game so you could view it in the client. And it wasn't playing on YouTube. It was playing like you literally downloaded the video, I believe. So not great. I would have just had that link into YouTube, 100%, because you want to get the views. But anyway, yeah, you can see like I think if I was to add up what animated shorts they've done.
What the hell is this?
Well, let's just quickly do that. Okay, so what animate? Like, I mean, proper Pixar like animated CGI animated shorts, not the sort of like hand drawn animation style ones. You've got Sojin cinematic. You've got Kiriko.
Bro, you got Echo now? Damn.
And you've got Le Seraphim, right? That's it. I don't think there's been any more. Correct me if I've missed any, but I don't think I have in Overwatch 2's life, where obviously with Overwatch 1, I mean, yeah, there's just loads. There's just absolutely loads. I know it was a different time. It was a new IP, whatever. But I just can't help but feel the, you know, when I think about like the impact those animated shorts had, imagine if they...
I mean, it's not gonna work. Overwatch needs to become a fun game somehow. I mean, there are chances of redemption. Star Wars Battlefront is popping off. It's back because it got kind of decent and people are now playing it.
Let's go over here. So this is we'll read through the article. Obviously, some of this will be from the article writer, and then some will be direct quotes. But we'll just go through this. So Overwatch's really cool animated shorts don't drop nearly as frequently as they used to, but game director Aaron Keller reckons they need to make a comeback before Blizzard Entertainment can claim the shooter is firing on all cylinders. And I agree.
Dude, we're not... Yeah, the shorts is gonna get some people to just log in for 5 minutes through. But all in all, a short is not gonna get the people who left Overwatch to play it because it was shit. I'm not gonna play Overwatch. I have Overwatch. I'm not gonna play Overwatch because I fucking saw a short. Fuck that. It's just not gonna work. The game needs to be good in the first place.
They do. But there is one massive elephant in the room, and it is Microsoft. And unfortunately, if you're not got AI attached to whatever the hell you're doing, they seem to want to reduce your staff levels. So that's a bit frigging annoying. So who knows whether they just suddenly go, oh yeah, it's fine. You can have loads of budget to make animated shorts. Who knows? I don't know. But it would be nice to see. Although, I guess I remember Xbox.
What is this?
It says Hazard's voice actor underneath me.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, Blizzard is fucked. Overwatch is as dead as it was. Marvel Rivals is now doing less good, but it's still doing good because, I mean, it's a good game in general. The hype has died down, but it's still there. It's still actually... Well, it probably has now less players than Overwatch, let's be real. But, I mean, Overwatch just... I don't think that there's a chance. I don't think there's a lot of chance for a lot of Blizzard products. Like Diablo 4 is dead. World of Warcraft is literally a meme now in the internet because of how bad it is. Anyway, that was Stylos, a 10 out of 10. Bye.